Hi, I'm Dennis TEK from Radio Birdman. We're going to be on tour June and July for our 50th anniversary celebration. So, come and celebrate with us.
Beautiful, Dennis. Thanks for joining us today, mate.
Thank you.
Pleasure. So later this year, the music world does celebrate the end of a massive era when Radio Birdman set off on the Birdman 5 tour, starting June the 21st at the Croxton Band Room in Melbourne, running through Adelaide, Brisbane, and Sydney, before finishing in Manning Bar on July the 7th, mate. Like, is Australia ready for shows of these magnitude, mate? I bet you got some fun stuff planned.
Yeah, it'll be, these shows, the venues that we're playing were essentially the same venues we played on the last tour, the last couple of tours. The last time we went around Australia was just before the pandemic in 2019, and basically the same venues. We'd prefer to play two or three shows in a smaller club rather than one huge show at the Enmore or the Palace or something like that. So it's better for us to play in smaller places.
Yeah. Now, it's a bittersweet tour, like celebrating 50 years of Radio Birdman, but also serving as a swan song for the band. So, how long have you known that you're going to put them both together and do the tour like that?
Just since November.
Yeah, right.
We hadn't really even talked about it until then, but I was back in Australia for my daughter's wedding, and the band got together socially, and we talked it over and thought it might be a good idea to go ahead and do it.
And when people talk about it, man, like numbers are thrown around haphazardly these days, but if you actually stop and think about it, mate, 50 years is a fucking good achievement, bro. Like, well done.
Thank you. Yeah, and we got three guys in the band that were original members, and that when we started the band in 1974.
Wow.
So it's pretty good that those three are still around, and that we can still go out there and play. And we wouldn't go out and play unless it was going to be at full power. It's going to be, if it wasn't true to the original intent and direction and vision of the band, we wouldn't be doing it. So, hopefully people will get the full thing.
That actually puts it in perspective a little bit, bro. Like, you started in 74. I was born in 1974. So I was getting my ass smacked by the doctor while you guys were on stage.
Could be.
Now, tickets were snapped up super quick for this,
If
bro.
you
Like,
were,
sorry?
if you were born at St. Vincent's Hospital in Darwin,
No, I was born in Brisbane, Royal Brisbane Hospital.
yeah, delivery room from the Oxford, which is only a couple of blocks away from there.
All right, yeah. I was I think I was the third last person to be airlifted out of Brisbane in the Brisbane floods that year. Like, when everything flooded and we got taken out by chopper from the hospital, I think.
I saw that I saw the footage on television and on the internet. That was incredible. So
I don't
you so
remember
you
fuck
were
all.
you were in all that, huh?
Yeah, I was born in all that. So I know that's got to be karma or a sign of something, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, definitely counts for something.
Now, tickets for this tour was snapped up super quick, mate. Like, the first two Sydney shows sold out in just a week. Like, it must have felt good to know that you've still got it. People still want to see the band.
Yeah, it is. It's good. After all this time, the band is still cool.
That's a
And
great way to put it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We never really. I don't know. We didn't. Like I say, it will have been 5 years since our last Australian tour. So I think there's a lot of people that it's multi-generational now. You get people bringing they saw us when they were 18 or 19 years old, and now they're bringing their 18 and 19-year-old kid or nephew or niece along to the show, and say, you got to see these guys because these guys rip. And this is what I was listening to when I was your age. And a lot of these kids are receptive to it. They're getting into it.
Man, you've had to limit it to 8 shows. Otherwise, you probably just could have kept going on forever, mate. Like you've had to leave out Hobart and Perth, but it's been regional shows, but it's not personal, is it? It's just the fact that you're trying to keep it compact.
Yeah, and it's the last time we went to Perth, it really wasn't that great. We didn't get a big crowd, and we looked into going to Perth on this tour, but weren't getting good vibes from the venues and things like that. And it's a long way to go with a big crew. We had 6 guys in the band, and we have a crew, and that's a lot of people and a lot of equipment to take a lot of miles. And same thing in Hobart. We love playing in Tasmania, but it's just wasn't practical to be able to do it on this tour.
Yeah, totally understandable. So all said and done, bro, like what can fans expect from the show? Like, are you doing anything special? Is it going to be fireworks? Is it going to be dances? What's happening?
Yeah, exotic dancers. Right. It's just going to be Radio Birdman. It's going to be what we always do, which is to play hard, and we'll play the songs people want to hear from our past, and we're not going to be hitting people with a whole bunch of new material. It's just going to be paying tribute to the to the things that people have loved in the past, and we're going to try to do it with full power and without pulling any punches, so that people will have one more chance to get the full-blown Radio Birdman concert under their belt.
Yeah. Now, you allowed yourself to sort of think forward to July the 7th on that final show, mate. Like, is it going to be emotional?
That's a really good question. I don't know. Could be. I'll be exhausted, and whether I'm going to be too tired to be emotional or not is another question. But I'm sure I'm sure we'll feel something pretty deep and pretty profound about that. It's we've all been together with each other longer than we've been with any of our wives. It's like, this is deep.
I broke up with my wife on our wedding day, mate. So you've got a lot of years on me.
I wonder what she would have to say about that.
Oh, we still get on fine. We're way better apart than what we ever were together.
I understand.
Yeah, we've got a couple of young girls too, which helps. So
yeah, good.
It ended nicely. And you're definitely not going to be doing a John Farnham on us. Like, this is it. You're out, staying out.
I'm not going to say 100% guaranteed that it's going to be the last show. I guess there's always a slim possibility we could do a festival or something like that. But as far as a tour, yeah, I think this is the last one.
And you're taking the hard-ons with you as company too, mate. Like, I honestly don't think you could have picked a better band to be there with you.
Yeah, well, we've shared the stage with them before a couple of times, and they go way back too. And they, they've been a band that has had a similar attitude and kind of a similar ethos to what we have, and we know those guys. We're friends, so it's good. Yeah, it's I think it's quite fitting that they should be there.
And how much of a lease of life have they taken on since Tim joined the band? Like, it's just rejuvenated everything, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's given them a new chapter.
Good on them. Now, the Radio Birdman have been called the legendary outsiders of Australian rock, like so much so that it's actually on the poster, mate. Like, what do you think that is? Like, what do you think you guys are the perennial outsiders?
Well, when we started, we were doing something that nobody was doing, and it was kind of aggressive, and maybe some people in the music establishment thought it was a bit rude, and you know, and we didn't go along with we didn't follow the rules. You know, there was fairly established set of, this is what you have to do if you want to make it in music in Australia in 1974. You had to do this, this, and this. We didn't do any of those things. We wanted to do it our own way and play our own music, and we came out with something that was not being done by, you know, by others at that time, and it gets you, what it gets you is it gets you kicked out of places and rejected, and you spend time in the back of police cars, and after you do that for a while, you begin to feel like an outsider. And and our feeling was, well, if that's what we're gonna be, you know, if they're not gonna let us in, we'll do our own thing anyway, and we will be outsiders, and it's been like that ever since, really. Although it's hard to say that you're an outsider when the prime minister wears your T-shirt.
You don't know what to make of that, do you?
Maybe he's a bit of an outsider too, but you know, so it's, you know, that's we're happy to be thought of that way, although it's probably got a very different meaning now than it did 50 years ago.
True. Yeah, 50 years is a long time just to be alive, mate, let alone making music in the band. So have you accomplished everything you want musically, or is it still unfinished business in a sense?
No, there's always unfinished business. You know, music is there's no end to it. I've always got new songs coming into my head every time I pick up the guitar. I get new ideas, and my medium for transmitting that now is my solo career. You know, I release albums regularly, and I work with a whole bunch of other people, and I don't see an end to that.
Very cool. Now, I want to bring up your band logo now, mate. Like, after half a century, its origins still remain a mystery, and I don't expect you to spill the beans now, but it's got to be both funny and awesome for you to see people wearing this on their shirts, having it tattooed on them, having it on stickers, when they've got no idea what it actually is. Like, it's got to be cool.
Yeah, that's right. And, you know, I mean, how many kids these days do you see wearing like the Ramones logo on their T-shirt, and they've never heard the Ramones, and, you know, because they're too young? And how many people wear a New York Yankees baseball cap with the NY on the front? Probably half of them don't even know what that stands for.
Can't even spell it.
But it looks cool. It looks cool. That's the important thing. And it's probably the same thing with our logo. You know, it kind of looks cool, and yeah, there's a bit of mystery to it, you know. And I actually came up with that logo before the band.
Okay.
It was in my previous band, TV Jones, and but we never used it in TV Jones. And then when Birdman started, we were listening a lot to the early Blue Oyster Cult records, and they had a symbol, you know, they had a logo, and they had it on flags on their amplifiers and on their stage, and it looked really cool. So I said, well, you know, I got a logo we could use for that. You could do the same thing. That's how it started.
All right. Now, I'm just saying, I'm not going to ask what it does mean, but does it mean something to you, or is it just something that you've scribbled down one day and it's just taken off from there? Like, does it actually have a meaning in your head?
Well, it started off as bird wings, sort of, you know, coming up like that, and then and it became stylized later to, you know, to simplified into these blocks. But yeah, it was wings.
Oh, yeah, cool. Now, I'll leave you with this one question, Matt. I don't ask it to many people, but if anyone's in a position to give me an answer, it's you, bro. Like, what would you list as your top 3 commandments of rock and roll?
That's a really great question. Top three commandments of rock and roll would be play hard, don't compromise or back down, and get a day job so that you don't have to rely on somebody's idea, a marketing plan
Very
to
smart.
pay the rent.
Very good. All right, Dennis. Well, thanks very much for your time, mate. It's been a pleasure. Congratulations on a great career, mate. Like, you guys deserve every accolade that comes your way, and I'll get along to the Brisbane show and say hello.
Thanks, Kris. Good talking to you.
Go get the surfboard out, bro. Go have a surf.
Right on.
All right, mate. Take care.
See ya.